slide. Okay? This one slide.
And then make sure.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for coming back to the Pro and Amateur podcast. I'm the amateur. He's the pro. And thank you for coming back to our second episode.
Episode 2.
Episode 2, like you said. As you can see, we got a bunch of different improvements. I mean, we got an actual setup. We have somewhat of a camera and I guess a little bit of a box you can see us through. We're now streaming on YouTube just because we felt it was a much better source to stream through rather than Twitch. And hopefully we can continue to improve. And we got some new stuff up for you next week. So you'll see more improvements week by week. You'll just have to give it time. All right, give it a little bit of time, and we'll go into it. So would you like to get us started with our first topic?
Yeah, let's get going. We got first off, we got NBA playoff recap. First off, we got a little guest joining us this time. My boy Khan, he's gonna come through here, and we're gonna get his take. He's a Houston Houston Rockets fan. So we're gonna get his take on how they've been playing. So let's go ahead and get Khan.
Hear from Khan. Khan, you there?
Yo.
All right, Khan. Here we go, man. We gotta know what's going on with your Rockets, man. They're down 3-1. My Lakers we're running all over y'all, man. Like, what's going on?
My team is dirt.
All right, Khan, elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, elaborate.
What do you mean?
Why are y'all losing, like, what's going on?
My team playing with no heart. They have no intensity on defense. One of the best shooters on our team decided that he was gonna fraternize with a COVID employee. So I mean, it's just all bad. It's just all bad.
You're talking about House, right
now. Yeah, Daniel House.
Yeah.
Decided that he want to invite a COVID testing employee into his hotel room, and then he want to leave the bubble whenever he get penalized.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It seems like We're running all over y'all. AD is a monster. No one could.
All right, you guys gonna take second game? You guys at least gonna get one more, or what? You guys done for the season? Do you think?
Nope. That's it.
They're done.
That's it. That was the end of it. The way that you could tell by their body language after the last game, that's it for the series.
I don't know.
You don't think that Harden can pull in one?
Oh, I mean, he can, but at this point, it'll probably be pointless because they're playing with no heart. We have no big man. We out here getting turned out like some little kids.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got out rebounded 52-26, I think, last game. So tough to win
PJ Tucker played 33 minutes and didn't have a point. So
yeah.
And Harden was bad too. I mean,
he went 2 for 11. I think he had a terrible game. Yeah.
So it's tough to win like that, but I actually think y'all might win the next game. Just I gotta think Harden won't go out like that. I mean, it seems like every year Harden's going out like that. Like last year, Game 6 against Golden State, they lost at home without. I think Durant was out that game too. And then Game 7, they had like the all-time historic worst shooting performance of all time.
That was like what?
That was
last year,
a
wasn't
few years ago.
Yeah, that was a few.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah, so I mean, I just gotta think Harden won't go out like that this year, but who knows? I mean, it's a total mismatch out there. Like they just don't have a big man like PJ Tucker at the 5.
Well, the thing is, if they can play their game. I mean, they live and die by the 3, obviously. So if they can hit what was it, 25 threes, they'll probably win.
This is a matchup of role players, man. That's all it is. The role players for the Lakers are turning up. They got Rondo dropping like.
That's what I'm saying. Like we got
the Rockets role players. I mean, Jeff Green's playing good. Like I said, Daniel House was a real big part of the team. He smoked the rest of his season. And then pretty much that's it. Westbrook is good for playing center.
Yeah, Rondo's been playing out of his mind. It seems like Rondo elevates under pressure. Like he gets way better in the playoffs. Like during the regular season, he hasn't been great. He wasn't even starting for us this year. But I mean, he totally turned it up. Like he was hitting threes and all that. So Rondo's definitely stepped up, and everyone's really kind of playing well. So
yeah, you can just tell by the body
overall,
language. I mean, the Rockets feel defeated. It's over for them. It's time for a coaching change.
All right, well, Con, I got another question for you. So do you think that you guys keep the 2 superstars for next year? Do you think Harden and Westbrook come back?
I think that both of them pretty much have to come back, but it's time. It's time to get past Westbrook too.
Mm.
I think we should have probably kept Chris Paul. Because now there's like 6, 7 teams that are showing interest in him, and even if we didn't keep him, and even if he was injured, I mean, even if we kept him and he was injured, they would have maybe we would have been able to score something because we gave up a lot for Chris Paul. We gave up like 7 players and draft picks.
Yeah. Westbrook he's been bad this series from what I've seen. Like,
Well, it's ever since he got hurt.
He was decent last game when they lost. Like when they started coming back, like he was hitting some shots, but overall, like especially in game 4, like he was shooting he was awful.
It's like you have to be able to shoot to be on this team, and he's supposed to be a superstar. You can't be a superstar and not be able to shoot on this team. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Westbrook was bad, but
all right. So
overall,
go ahead.
Yeah, overall, I think it's over for the Rockets. I mean, they're just, I don't know. I think it's over for them.
Season's over. It's time to go back to the drawing board. We need a new coach. We need a new strategy. We need to trade Westbrook, try to get us a solid big man, and get some pick and roll action going, man. Because that's ridiculous.
Who do you want them to pick up during this offseason?
I want them to go after someone like Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond he's a good player. Plays on a terrible team.
So just scrap the whole small ball thing.
Yep, it's over. You can't win. You can't win a championship with small ball if you don't have.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. Consistently shooting threes.
I mean, you could catch teams. I mean, I feel like they caught teams off guard like that at the start, but it's just something you can't win long term with, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's like we had people just. I mean, Steve Adams was turning the whole team into babies.
Yeah.
Last series, Nerlens Noel was dunking on the whole team, so I mean, they had no chance.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and let's get your opinion on the Thursday night game. I know you didn't watch a lot of it, but I know you had it. What's going on with the Texans?
I watched the first drive, and then I turned it off. Will Fuller was wide open on a fade route. He had a rookie corner on him.
Yeah.
And dropped the ball wide open. And I believe the next play Watson got hit. The next play David Johnson got us a first down. And he threw the ball again to Fuller, and again he dropped it. So that's whenever I turned the game off. But I kept watching the stats because I got Watson on my fantasy team. But pretty much that team, Houston sports right now are just not very good.
Yeah, it's falling apart. I'm gonna say a little bit. I'm not gonna give all of my things from that game, but Deshaun Watson, he needs help, dude. Like,
well, they traded his help. They got rid of him.
Even then, like he still needs more people. Like Will Fuller, he's not a wide receiver 1. I'm sorry. Like I think he's a good.
We got Brandon Cooks and Randall Cobb. They both suck.
Yeah, I mean, Will Fuller, he's a good deep threat, but he's not someone that could be a wide receiver 1 with Deshaun Watson, I feel like. And then, I mean, all the receivers really are injury prone. I mean, their best 2 receivers are Cooks and Stills and Fuller, obviously. I mean, all those guys are question marks as far as health goes throughout the year. Like, can those guys even stay healthy? So, I mean, trading DeAndre Hopkins is pretty crazy in my opinion.
But yeah, exactly.
Bill O'Brien,
especially
man,
for a bag of peanuts. I mean, at least he did look decent last night.
Yeah. Well, David Johnson looked really good. I mean, a lot of people were kind of drawing him off as not a good running back anymore because they didn't know how to use him in Arizona. But I feel like he still has some gas in the tank. We'll see. But Bill O'Brien, man, he needs to be out of there. Like, I watched that whole game and like it was 7-7, Con. Even after he turned it off, like it was 7-7 in midfield, and they had a 4th and 4, and they punted. Like, I just don't really agree with that. You're playing the Chiefs, like they can put up points. Like I feel like you have to kind of match that intensity, but they decided to punt on 4th and 4 in midfield. It's kind of a Bill O'Brien special, in my opinion. But they just looked flat and demoralized.
O'Brien needs to be fired.
He needs to be out of there. Like, I don't
elevate his position after.
Yeah, how you elevate him to DM after that block one? So I just feel like you got to give yourself a chance against the Chiefs. There, you got to go for those. And then they were down 17 in the third quarter when they were up with like 6 minutes left, and they decided to punt again. I don't get it. Like, but the Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs look scary. I know it was more. I would say it's more Texans falling apart than it was Chiefs good, but the Chiefs look really good. They just added that running back who was playing really good.
The
So
way
I
I
mean,
see it is
their
the
arsenal of
Texas
weapons is scary.
defense was dirt last year too, but they had the offense, they had the receiver D Hop to make up for all that, because without D Hop, they have a real big gap, and nobody's gonna fill that gap. No, they're not gonna be able to score a player like D Hop ever again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a questionable trade. I will say that. Anything you want to say about that? The Thursday night game?
Nah, bro. I mean, I feel like you guys got it all. I mean, it got dark, obviously. I mean,
It actually wasn't dark. It was like a close game. I feel like the Chiefs came out a little flat too. It was 7-7.
Well, I mean,
second quarter.
it's the first game of the season. I mean, there's gonna be some hiccups and some sloppy play, of course. I mean, first game of the season without what was the OTAs too, so it's got to be it's gonna be a mess a little bit, but yeah, no, I think y'all covered it.
I mean, it's just a Bill O'Brien special, like punting there, and then from there on out, it's just I think the Chiefs scored like 20 something straight, like 24 straight. So
I think it was 31 on it, dude. Pretty sure that's what.
No, it was because they scored a 7, but it was 24 or something like that. So, I mean, just a Bill O'Brien special in my opinion. Not sure why he's still the coach and the GM. So that's just a little bit about that game. But
Not
is that
sure why
everything you want to say, Con, about Houston sports?
Yeah, Con, anything else you'd like to add?
I miss T Mac and I miss Andre Johnson.
I understand that.
Andre Johnson was a GM. I had him in tons of my fantasy leagues when he was good. So definitely missing him. I'll tell you that. But
Yeah.
all right, appreciate you coming on, Con. If that's everything you want to say about Houston sports, just
that's it. Take it
just
easy.
basically you're demoralized.
Yep, thanks, Con.
Appreciate it, Con.
All right, so now we're gonna kick it over to our next segment. So today, the pro himself has some Madden advice he'd like to talk about. So go ahead, Cole. Anything you want to say about the Madden community or whatever?
Yeah. So not specifically Madden, but just a few things that they did. They added Colin Kaepernick back into Madden.
Oh yeah. He's an 81 overall, right?
Yeah, 81 overall. People were overreacting on Twitter about his rating. It doesn't matter. Like seriously, that's what I was saying. Like it really doesn't matter. Like it's regular teams. He's a free agent. He's not even on a team. I mean, I feel like 81 overall is kind of a perfect rating for him. Like he's not too high, not too low.
Yeah,
so he'd be disrespected.
Exactly. I think it was a good, solid. I mean, it's good for. I mean, they put him in obviously to show support for the BLM stuff. Yeah. But what are people expecting? You can't expect him to be like a 90 overall, like god tier player. I mean,
I mean, he's one of the most prolific media players for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like he was a starting quarterback, starting caliber quarterback when he first started
going out.
But I don't feel like he'll start again. Like he's
been out
4 years off.
Yeah.
And just I mean the quarterbacks right now in the NFL aren't great, but I just don't feel like he'll get another chance, to be honest, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
I will say, who was it? The Bills quarterback? The one? No, the other guy. The guy who was the Bills quarterback, who was behind Tyrod Taylor. What was his name?
You're talking about
Peterman?
Dude,
Is that his name?
Peterman.
Yep. If all I'm saying is Peterman can't get that chance more than once, that's kind of crazy. Like that dude should have been out of the league within game 2. That guy was some dirt.
Another thing about that, I think it was last year's Madden, but they had there was like a song that said Kaepernick or whatever in it, and I think they blurted out apparently, and they had apologized. They sent out an apology letter yesterday saying they apologized for apparently a mistake on this.
It was that. There's no way that's a mistake.
Like, that's pretty crazy, but
well, it's because they're giving it. I mean, look, whether you agree with the protest or not, it's one thing. But like for them to just kind of fence it and kind of hop on whichever trend is most at the time, it's kind of annoying. I mean, that's kind of either make your position matter or don't, because it's pretty cheap at that point.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, Cap coming back to Madden is cool. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Mainly just the rating. Like people are overreacting about the rating. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like he's 81 overall, so what? It doesn't matter in my opinion. But the next thing I want to talk about is the motion hiking that they patched a little bit. So there was an issue with man coverage. Whenever you would motion a receiver, your defensive back would glitch out. They would switch or whatever, and you have a free touchdown. So they decided to fix that up a little bit, but and not in a great way in my opinion. What they decided to do was they basically made it so you can't motion and snap a player in a pass or a trips formation. which is kind of crazy in my opinion. But
Well, explain the trips formation a little bit for people who might not understand.
so trips, you got 3 receivers on one side and then either tight end or receiver on the other side. But basically, that was the formation that people were using to glitch out the man coverage for a one-play touchdown. So it was definitely something that needed to be addressed, but I'm not a big fan how they addressed it, basically not allowing you to motion snap, which is it's one of the most sim responses that NFL teams actually use to beat man coverage because it won't allow your player to get pressed in man, and you can get favorable matchups for your receivers and stuff like that and confuse alignment. So that's kind of a big part of playing offense, in my opinion, and I'm not sure if that was the way to go about addressing it, but just a little bit about that. Another thing with Madden, true clock. Another thing I think I probably mentioned to you, the true clock that goes down automatically sometimes on first down. It'll just shoot your clock down to 10 seconds, so you won't really have time to make any adjustments.
I've played against that glitch, or I've played with that glitch before. Yeah, no, that.
Yeah. So there's that. It's probably, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, the biggest issue on Madden right now, and they haven't addressed it yet, which is kind of crazy. And so it makes a lot of people are thinking it might be on purpose, and I guess for player retention, like.
Well, I mean, it's
bringing players
EA.
back.
It's EA.
I mean, I guess if you think about it, I mean, it'll avoid people like the casuals won't get blown out as much because the games will be shorter.
Yeah, but
and so that's
EA
that's
does all
kind of
that
an idea.
They're not. I hate. EA doesn't fix games. Let's just say that for the most part.
So I just thought that's kind of the biggest issue in my opinion. Like I said on the last podcast that I really do like the new Madden, but that's the biggest issue in my opinion, and they're not really addressing it. I figured they would have addressed it by now. I mean, it's the number one complaint for everybody. So maybe they're doing it on purpose. That's just the kind of a theory that everyone's saying. Maybe it's for player retention, keep the casuals playing. So that's just a little bit about Madden. I think that's it though for that. And then we can our next topic is the new Xbox.
Yep. So we're heading into the new Xbox for the next topic. As you all know, you saw. If you didn't see, we'll tell you right now. The Xbox information is leaked. So basically, they have the Series X and the Series S. Both prices leaked. The release date all leaked. And did Microsoft actually come out with an announcement?
Did they leak it or they released it?
Yeah, I think they officially released the announcement. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure that was probably on purpose to get it leaked or whatever.
Yeah.
But so the Series S is going to be $299, so it's going to retail at basically $200. And then the other one's $599.
So explain the difference for the people.
So the main difference is the smaller one, or the Series S, is not going to have a game or a disc drive at all. There'll be no disc drive in that one. There will be with the Series X, of course. And one is going to be the Series X is going to be monitoring or going for full 4K. Basically, all the best graphics you're going to be able to get is what the Series X is going for. The Series S is going to be more of like the normal HD type. It's going to be like a slight upgrade from the Xbox One, basically, so you can play next gen games. Basically, and it is the Series X is also coming with a terabyte. I'm pretty sure the other one is only 512 gigabytes. Let me double fact check that.
That is a big thing. The terabyte, that will be a big thing for people that, not for me personally, because I don't really play a lot of different games, but people that do play a lot of games are definitely going to be looking to probably get that 1 terabyte console, because especially games like Call of Duty and all those games, their size is even growing now. So definitely for people that play a lot of games, might want to look into getting that 1 terabyte console.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, not to interrupt. I have a few extra things to note. So I found the article from the things I was reading on. So yeah, the Xbox Series X runs 4K resolution on that. Series S does not. And the Series S doesn't have a disk drive, obviously, has less internal storage. They both play next gen games, and the Series S, is supposed to be 60% smaller. That's what GamesRadar.com says when it first initially came out with the leak. That was part of the leaks. So those are like the big main differences, and then obviously the price of $200 difference. For me personally, I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna get the $500 one. I mean, in my opinion,
you can play a lot of games.
Well, yeah, but I also feel like the resolution being 4K. I feel like all the games are going to start going 4K. And then if you have the $300 console in a year and all the games are 4K, you're going to feel completely left out, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's just smart to bite the bullet, get the $500 one now. But if you're on a budget or whatever, the Series S definitely is a good buy. I mean, $300 is pretty reasonable for a next console.
Updated console, yeah. I don't really know. I think it would be the PS4 would probably be the same price. Don't you think? 500 for the
I mean, if it's not, they're in for some trouble.
terabyte
I'll
one.
tell you that.
Yeah.
If the
So
PS4
probably
comes
the
up
same
at
price.
even $600, I feel like it's going to get blown out of the water with sales.
Yeah. So what is it? November 10th for the new Xbox? I think it's November 10th.
November 10th?
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I think the PlayStation will probably come around the same time, but
Yeah,
that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I think that's pretty much it about the new Xbox. I'm obviously gonna get the PlayStation. I'm a PlayStation guy.
I'm an Xbox guy.
I was an Xbox guy until I did get the PlayStation 4 Pro, and I just noticed a huge difference as far as like the graphics and it just moves a lot slower in my opinion. The PlayStation does.
You mean the Xbox?
No, the PlayStation moves smoother.
You said slower, though.
Oh, so in my opinion, the PlayStation's a lot smoother and just better graphics in my opinion. So that's why I decided to switch over to PlayStation. I do have both consoles, but as far as getting the new one, I'm gonna get the PS5.
Yeah, I've
So
always been an Xbox guy. I mean, even if the PS4 was better, which I mean, it was almost undisputably better against the Xbox One. I'm just an Xbox guy. It's hard for me to transition, and honestly, I'm not like a super elitist. I'm not gonna say I hate you because you play on PlayStation. Like I think that the console wars is pretty stupid, honestly, and that's kind of gonna go into our next thing. If like we just make cross-platform for everything, it's gonna change a lot. Don't you think?
yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
if we cross-platform every single game, which isn't gonna happen sadly, but if we
Most of the
cross-platform
games are
every,
going that direction. Like I don't.
well, a lot of games are, but like,
I think every game will
you
eventually.
think even the sports games? Because EA was talking about, oh, this
I think they will. I don't know if it'll work out. Like I've said about cross-platform, like I don't think the servers are good enough for.
Oh, EA servers.
Like they can't even manage to do non-cross-platform. I don't know how they would cross-platform it, but
That's a good point.
but yeah, I mean cross-platform. I mean Fortnite was the first one to do it, I believe.
I thought Rocket League was. I might be wrong.
I don't know. I thought it was Fortnite.
It was. Yeah. I mean, they were definitely some of the first two. I think. Well, and now it's kind of just a norm. I mean, Call of Duty, one of the biggest games. Almost everybody plays Warzone cross-plat, and it's becoming a lot more of the norm. Which, and I feel like people always wanted cross-plat, like, because it's so lame when you say like you have to get the Xbox for whatever reason, but all your buddies have to get the PS4 or vice versa. It always like that always sucks. It's like, oh, we'd have to go to each other's house to play with each other, play on a completely different controller. It sucked, but I think they're starting to move into a more cohesive direction, which I think is good.
Yeah, that's the main pro with the cross-platform is just matchmaking and helping the longevity of the game last, especially with Madden. Like Madden dies out very soon every year, so it would definitely help with that. That's the pro of the cross-platform, but I mean, main con I think is just the servers. Like I don't know how. I mean, Fortnite, that's a great company and everything. Epic's a great company and Fortnite's a great game, so they were able to manage the servers and everything. And Call of Duty did the same, I believe. I don't play a lot of Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, I mean, they have a really bad cheater problem, but usually it's, I mean, compared to EA especially, it's beyond EA servers by a mile. I mean, Call of Duty definitely has a problem, so let's not get twisted, but I definitely think they've started going in the right direction, especially with this new game. And I can't wait for Cold War. I'm excited to play. I'm hoping they bring back that Black Ops 2 multiplayer, dude. Oh, Black Ops 2 multiplayer was my second favorite multiplayer I've ever played in my whole life ever. It was just so if they can bring that back with Cold War for us, you already know it's over for that.
Maybe with the new systems coming out, that might help improve as far as the servers go. Maybe the servers are better on the new systems. I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but I mean, I don't know. I guess that's pretty much it for the cross-platform. But what's our next topic?
NFL.
NFL. Oh, yeah, we kind of talked a little bit about it, but like I said, I didn't want to give everything out because I was going to save some.
Give me 2 seconds. You go ahead and keep talking. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. So, as far as the NFL game goes, just a little bit of my opinion. I've kind of mentioned Will Fuller, not a wide receiver one in my opinion. Sean Watson, he needs help. I mean, the Texans, man, they're a joke as the organization. Bill O'Brien needs to be fired. But I mean, overall, I mean, you have to look at the Chiefs. Like they looked really good last night. They did. A lot of people were saying they didn't come out flat. I think they came out a little bit flat at the start of the game, but ever since the Texans made that dumb decision to go for that 4th and 4, it was all Chiefs, and they looked really good. So, I mean, they have a running game now. Like last year they were basically airing it out the whole game. Like they really didn't have a stellar running game, but now they can drain you out down the field and chew clock as well. So I mean, the Chiefs look really dangerous in my opinion. I think that's pretty much it about that game. Anything you want to say about it?
No, yeah. I mean, again, I feel like we covered the Houston Texans game. I feel there's not much I can add. I didn't watch all of this, so I think you'd be able to explain it better. But let's go into the rest of the NFL. All right. So we gave our predictions last week about who we thought was going to win, this and that. But we're going to give power rankings this week, just before the game. So we're going to kind of see who we think, yeah, obviously is going to be the top tier teams. I'm going to start off 1 through 5. Obviously, I'm going to give Chiefs as number 1. 100%.
You can do 10 or 5.
Huh?
You can do 10 or 5 teams.
No, I'm starting off with 1. We'll just go back and forth.
No, I'm saying, are you going to do 10 total teams or 5 total teams?
I'll do 5.
I'm going to do 10.
Okay, I'll do 10. But I'm definitely making the Chiefs my first. I mean, I feel like they have to be.
It's an easy pick. I'm going to say the Ravens is my number 1.
Really?
The Ravens, in my opinion, are a better team. They just have a better overall roster, in my opinion. The Chiefs, better quarterback, but the Ravens, they're stacked, and I think they're going to run through teams to start the year off. We'll see how that goes. I mean, obviously, I think we can do like adjusted power rankings, like we'll adjust our power rankings out throughout the year. So obviously, these aren't going to be set in stone throughout the year, but as of now, I got to put the Ravens as my number 1 spot. They got even better from last year, and they were killing teams at the end of the year. So I think it's going to be more of the same from the Ravens. So I got to put them at my number 1. But.
Well, I'm gonna hit with the Ravens at my second. I mean, I think it's just Lamar Jackson playoff. That's the only thing that scares me. It's the only thing that's crippled him for the past 2 years, in my opinion. Like truly. So that's what scares me. Honestly, that's why he has to be my number 2. I mean, Patrick Mahomes last year showed he could do it in the playoffs. So we'll see. But yeah, they're my number 2.
Yeah, the number 2 for me is the Chiefs. So I guess we're just going to go back and forth on that. But I mean, the Chiefs, yeah, they looked extremely dominant last night. Obviously, not a great team that they're playing against, in my opinion. But I mean, overall, I think the Chiefs are actually a better team than they were last year. They have a running game now, so they're dangerous. So they're going to be a tough out in the AFC. So that's my number 2 team right there.
Okay, and then I'm going to go with number 3. I'm going to go with the Saints. I look, I know what happens in the playoffs with every year too. Believe me. But
they've had a lot of bad luck in the playoffs, though.
They have a lot of bad luck, but last year I don't know if you can blame that all on luck. They definitely had their chances. I feel like last year.
No, last year Drew Brees stole that game.
That was rough. But I mean, look, you have to think it has to be better, right? I mean, eventually, hopefully.
Well, I don't know. Drew Brees he's not as good anymore. So.
Well, I just think that again.
As an overall team, they're pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. I think they have one of the most complete teams in the whole NFL. I think they take the South they're in.
NFC South.
South, yeah. I think they take the South, honestly. Yeah, that's my third.
My third is going to be the Niners. The Niners, extremely dominant team, great defense. I'm not sure if they'll have the best defense this year, but it'll definitely be a top 3 defense. And just an amazing coaching staff. Kyle Shanahan, the best offensive coach in the league. So the Niners, I mean, they're going to be back this year. I think they won 13 games last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And they won that division. So, I mean, they're going to be back this year just as good. So, we'll see. I got the Niners as my third team, though.
Well, Niners have to be my fourth. I mean, in my opinion, again, also one of the most complete teams, obviously. But I honestly think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be exposed a little bit for the quarterback that he really is. I honestly don't think he's a great quarterback. I don't.
But he doesn't.
Well, I know that's the thing. He didn't have to be the great quarterback last year. He didn't have to be.
I don't think he will do this year. We'll see though. I think their running game is just that dominant to where he's not going to have to make them.
See, that's where I think I think he's going to at least a few times this year have to prove that he can be that quarterback, and I think he's going to fail in the times when it counts. That's why
he did last year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but I think they're going to be a little weaker. I think they're going to have a little bit of a slump, a little bit more of a learning curve. That's why they're fourth on my list. Still pretty high, but I do think that they're going to have a little bit rougher time than they did last year, in my opinion, just because, I mean, everything's learning. They're going to have to get used to stuff. I definitely think that Jimmy will be exposed for what he is this year.
So I'll go with the Saints as my number 4. The Saints, I mean, it's tough for me to keep believing in the Saints every year like I do, but I mean, they're back this year. But I feel like this is their last year. I mean, Drew Brees, he looked bad last year in the playoffs, and we'll see how they are this year. But as far as an overall team, they're overall constructed very well, and they have a really good roster. So I mean, the division, pretty tough division, but I still think they'll win that division. I think the Bucks could give them a run for the money, but I think they'll still win that division. But yeah, I'm gonna put the Saints in my number 4 team. It's tough for me to really drop them off that much, even though I think Drew Brees got a little worse. But I'll go with the Saints for my 4th.
Well, 5th, I'm gonna go. And this is very cliche. I just checked a list, and my list is exactly the same as theirs so far. It's gonna differ at 6.
Was it?
I think it's hold on, let me double check. It's just team rankings. Is what it's called on teamrankings.com. It's literally what it is, and it's literally going exactly what I said. And it's gonna go for the same as 5th, but not. We'll differ at the 6th. I think honestly the Bucks are 5th. I know Brady's old. I know Gronk's not out of shape, but he's definitely out of practice or whatever for actual NFL games. But I think that they've just added so much to that team. They did really good in the draft. I think that they're going to be a solid team. They're not finishing above the Saints, but they're going to be a solid team.
Yeah, so the Bucks aren't going to be in my top 10. I have
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have the Seahawks as my 5th team. The Seahawks, really good team. I mean, not really. They're not a really good overall team. Russell Wilson kind of just won them games last year. They had tons of every game was pretty much close from what I was looking at. But the Seahawks are gonna be back this year. I think they got better. They got Jamal Adams. They did lose Clowney, but I mean Jamal Adams are gonna really improve their defense in my opinion. And I mean Russell Wilson is just he's amazing and he wins games. So I think they'll be right that they'll make the playoffs this year. I don't think they'll win that division. Obviously, I have the Niners winning that division. I have them as a better team than them. But as far as the Seahawks, I think they're going to make the playoffs and might make a playoff run. But I mean, Russell Wilson is just amazing, and he seems like he's getting better every year. So I got to put the Seahawks at 5 there.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go to my 6th. Is also the Seahawks. I love Russell Wilson. I mean, what year hasn't been better than the last? I mean, he just keeps
got better
getting
every year.
That's what I'm saying. He keeps getting better. He showed us last year that he dragged that team along. What he's really capable of. I think last year was more telling than his Super Bowl years. Honestly, he was really good, like really good. If he plays any better than that, I think that they're going to be a solid team. They might slot in that 6th or 7th position in the playoffs, and I definitely think that they're going to be really tough to beat this year, despite whatever their record is. I definitely think it will be good matchups all across the board.
Yeah. So, that was your 6th?
Yeah, I'm a 6th. Yeah.
So my 6th is gonna be the Patriots. Patriots. I mean, I'm gonna keep putting them in my top 6 till they prove me otherwise. But I mean, as long as Bill Belichick's there, I mean, I feel like they're gonna be a solid team and at least make the playoffs. I mean, their defense was by far the best last year, and I feel even though they had tons of people opt out, like they had by far the most opt outs out of any team, but I mean, I feel like that's still going to be a great defense. They might fall off a little bit. I mean, it's tough to say that they're going to be the same as last year, but they still have tons of their pieces like Gilmore and all those guys. So I feel like that defense is going to stay pretty good. And offensively, not great. I mean, they don't have the best weapons for Cam, but I feel like they can manage it. And as long as they're playing great defense, I feel like they can at least make the playoffs. And we'll see how they do as far as the playoff run, but we'll get to that when we can. But I'm gonna have the Pats at 6.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Patriots at 7th. I just think Bill Belichick. Obviously, can't ever count him out. So honestly, they could jump to the 1st for all I know. Because Bill Belichick, on my opinion, greatest coach.
What defense?
Huh?
Or overall team? What do you mean first? Like first overall defense, or?
Well, I think they could easily jump to 1st overall defense, but I mean, if they win a chip this year, which I'm not predicting, but it wouldn't shock me if that ever happened. Like Bill Belichick figured it out. That wouldn't be a surprise. I mean, it's Bill Belichick, and I will say they stole Cam Newton. I don't know how he didn't get picked up sooner. I felt like he was on free agency for way too long, and for them to just get him just for nothing, that's crazy. I mean, they're paying him what, $1 million?
They're paying him nothing.
Yeah. So for a quarterback who was an MVP 2-3 years ago, that's crazy to me. Honestly, I think honestly he's worth way more than that. I'm surprised he didn't get even picked up as a backup at a different location for $1 million. That's crazy. But I think this year he'll actually kind of explode. I'm not even kidding under Bill Belichick. I know he's not his conventional quarterback, but I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick figures it out.
Yeah, Cam Newton. I mean, I don't feel like he'll explode because just they don't have a lot of weapons there. But I mean, they have James White, who, I mean, Cam Newton's great with those receiving backs, so we'll see how he does with James White. I think that's a really good fantasy sleeper too. I picked up James White in some of my leagues, so we'll see how he does for me. But 7 is it 7?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Dallas Cowboys at 7. Basically, I mean, once I hit Seattle, it was kind of tough for me to rank these last teams. These guys are all kind of close in my opinion, but I'm gonna go with the Cowboys at 7. I mean, they have Gallup and Cooper, who are solid receivers, and they just added CeeDee Lamb, he doesn't even need to hit full run, and he can work his way into that offense. He doesn't even need to be good right off the start because they just have so many weapons there. But I mean, the Cowboys, I feel like they're going to be one of the top teams this year. I actually had the Eagles winning that division earlier, but the Eagles got hit with a few injuries, and Miles Sanders, I mean, I don't know what to think of him. I feel like he's injury prone, so I'm gonna go with the Cowboys as a higher team than the Eagles this year. I'm gonna pick them at 7. They were actually one of the best offenses last year, and they just got even better offensively. So we'll see. I think the Cowboys are gonna be great.
Okay, I'm gonna take a quick pause, real quick. So I was just listening to the audio. You're actually echoing a little bit. So do you want to switch out mics real quick? I can give you a different mic if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here you go. Let's take these real quick. I'll put them. Sorry, guys. Okay. Are we good? Hold on.
Yo.
Yours is working already. I can tell. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. So.
I wonder why that was echoing. But
What's up?
I wonder why that was echoing.
I don't know. I heard something and I started. Yeah, it was really weird.
Hopefully that wasn't bad for the whole thing. But
I think we're okay.
What are we on, 8?
Huh?
8 team?
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with the 8th number one. We just picked the 7th, and I picked the. Yeah. Okay. So the 8th, I'm gonna hit with the. Ooh, this is kind of tough. I'm gonna kind of go with a little bit of surprise. I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm gonna take Vikings is my 8th. I think they're a super complete team. Dalvin Cook is gonna go crazy this year. I'm calling that straight off the bat. They obviously have had good defense every single year. I mean, it under Zam, they always have a good defense.
Yeah, they do.
So I'm not surprised. We'll see how it goes this year. Yeah, that's why they're my 8th team.
Yeah, I have the Vikings as well as my 8th team. Like you said, a pretty complete team, really good roster, and always a great defense with Mike Zimmer there. They did lose Diggs on the offensive side. Defensively, their corners have kind of gotten worse. Xavier Rhodes he's been bad from what I've seen, but I mean they added Yannick Ngakoue from the Jaguars, who's one of the best DNs. So so I think the Vikings are going to be a top team this year. Actually, I said in the last podcast I have them winning that division, unfortunately, but I still think we'll make a playoff spot. But as a wild card, the Vikings definitely are going to be a good team this year, in my opinion. So they're going to be my 8th team.
Skip team 9. Give me a sec.
All right, so I'm going to get right into my 9th team. I have the Packers right there behind them. Not that confident in the Packers going in this year after what we did in the offseason, but I mean, you have to just kind of go off last year. We were 13-3, second in the NFC. If I'm not mistaken, we had a bye. So yeah, second in the NFC, made the NFC Championship game. Overall, I mean, we have a pretty solid team. Just had a bad run defense last year and didn't shore it up, which kind of made me question our offseason decisions. But I mean, overall, I feel like we'll still win a decent amount of games to make the playoffs this year. So I'm gonna go with Packers at 9.
Okay, so
Your 9th team.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with my 8th.
9th team, right?
No, I'm on my 8th. We skipped me number. My 8th.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, you picked the Vikings as your 8th team. You're still in. You still got it. Yeah, because we just did my 9th.
Oh,
first.
yeah. Okay, I got you. This one's a little bit more difficult. I think
they're all difficult once you hit like 5 for me.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's a ton of teams like Buffalo.
That's what I was gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the Bills. I think their defense is gonna be crazy. Hopefully, Josh Allen can improve based on what he did last year. It was he obviously showed his flaws last year. In that playoff game, that playoff game. Yeah,
Yeah, they blew.
What was it? The last drive or the last drive the Bills had at least. He definitely made a mistake. And so, but I definitely think hopefully he'll be improved. But their defense is scary. I got
They do have a good defense. Yeah, the Bills definitely a really good team this year. Could definitely make a playoff spot. I don't know if they will. It'll be close, but the Bills just missed my top 10. I'm gonna have to go with my 10th team is gonna be the Steelers. Their defense is insanely good and young, so I mean that defense is gonna be great this year. Maybe might be the best defense this year. We'll have to see. I mean, TJ Watt's an animal. A lot of people thought he got snubbed of Defense Player of the Year last year. I personally would have gave it to Gilmore, but TJ Watt was right there. So they have a great defense and their offense. I mean, they obviously got Ben back. I mean, you can't be worse than what they had last year at quarterback with freaking Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. So they actually released Duck Hodges the other day. So I mean, the Steelers last year. I mean, their floor, like I said, is 8-8 with Mike Tomlin. So if they can win 8 games with that offense they had last year, and their defense is only young and getting better. So Steelers, I feel like they can make a wild card this year, but we'll see how Ben plays. I mean, obviously coming off that injury, so we'll see. But like I said, it can't really be worse than what they had at QB last year. They had pretty good draft in my opinion. They got Chase Claypool, who a lot of people were high on. They got Anthony McFarland, the running back, who's probably, in my opinion, going to take James Conner's job by the end of the year. James Conner's not great in my opinion. I hate how people compared him to Le'Veon Bell. I don't think it's close in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with Steelers at 10. Definitely can make a wild card.
I'm gonna have the Steelers at 32.
No bias there.
No, there's no bias in that one. No, there is 100% bias. I hate the Steelers with everything that's holy to me. I'm a Bengals fan, obviously, but my 10th, I'm gonna go with the Colts. I think they're gonna be a little bit of a shock. They're definitely a sleeper team, in my opinion. I think people will kind of realize how good they actually are this year. And I think that they can definitely. I think that they can definitely make playoffs 5, 6, or 7, one of those spots. If there wasn't a 7th seed, we'd see. But I definitely think that they 10.
Yeah, the Colts are definitely not a bad team this year. We'll see how they do, but I think that's it for the power rankings. That's 1 through 10.
Yep,
right?
we got them. So what we want to go with our? We want to tell them about the fantasy draft now.
Yeah, we can get into that a little bit. My team pretty dominant. I can't lie.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you quick. All right, relax. But we can talk about. We're gonna tell them a little bit about it first, real quick. So we thought that for the podcast, it'd be super fun to just kind of make a league and update you guys every week on how it's going, who's winning, who's doing this. So as of right now, who's in the league is me, Cole, obviously. We have a moderator who you can't see, but you'll get in touch with him next episode. Next episode, you'll know who he is.
Yeah.
And then a couple of our buddies, and we're just gonna update you guys every week, kind of tell you how it's going. Right now, we're gonna tell you who's on each of our team, and then So you go ahead.
PPR, by the way, for fantasy football heads, PPR. If anyone doesn't know what PPR means, point per reception. So you basically get, for running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, you're gonna get an extra point for every reception made. So it tends to value receivers more, but running backs are also extremely valuable always in fantasy because
especially catching running backs.
Yeah, but just in general, there's not that many good running backs. So my team, like I said, my team is pretty dominant. I can't lie. I really shouldn't be allowed in this league. It was a dominant draft by me. Really shouldn't be allowed to be in this league. My team is unfair. So
he won't be top 3, I promise.
So I'm just gonna go through my draft. First round, or I'll just
just go down your team. Just go down the depth chart.
Okay, so I'll just lift up my depth chart. So quarterback, I kind of gave up as my quarterback. I didn't really draft a quarterback. I kind of let these guys get the quarterbacks while I stacked up on running backs and wide receivers. So my quarterback, I actually just picked up Big Ben just for this week because I like his matchup against the Giants defense. So he's gonna be my quarterback this week, Monday night playing. My running backs are insane. I got Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, and Nick Chubb. I mean, 3 top 12 running backs. So hopefully those guys can do me well. And then my receivers, pretty good again. DJ Moore, Robert Woods, 2 top 20 receivers or not even top 20, 2 top 20 picks. So I mean, 2 great receivers in my opinion. Tight end, I kind of got later in the draft. Didn't get a Kelsey or a Kittle, but I went with Evan Ingram, who's a solid tight end in my opinion, but not great. I kind of decided to prioritize running backs and wide receivers over the tight end. So. And then defenses don't matter and kickers don't matter. So I picked up the Eagles defense against Washington this week. the Redskins not a great offense, so I decided to take my chance with the Eagles defense. My kicker is Zane Gonzalez from Arizona. Doesn't really matter. It's a kicker. My bench, pretty good bench. Not gonna lie, my bench is better than some starting teams. DG, but Kenny Golladay, Calvin Ridley, Terry McLaurin, Le'Veon Bell, DeAndre Swift, Tyler Boyd, and Kerryon Johnson. I didn't draft a backup quarterback and tight end. Those guys, I mean, I can just pick one up if I really need to, but I mean, my bench is pretty stacked in my opinion. So watch out for my team. Probably gonna win the league. Not gonna lie. But yeah, go ahead and get in your team, Jackson.
Oh Jesus! I mean, that was tough to listen to. My team is a little bit more balanced on all ends, but I'm kind of more used to playing a standard league, so I'm a little bit new to PPR. I might have messed up. I won't lie.
It's pretty much the same thing overall.
I
big of a difference.
I'll probably learn that pretty soon. And I also haven't played fantasy for 4 years, so I am bringing out the excuses. But I think my team's okay. I honestly don't know if I'm gonna win the league, but I think my team's probably middle of the pack. Honestly, maybe make playoffs if I get some things come my way, but we'll see. I did get a good quarterback. I went for Lamar Jackson, so the fantasy beast. I mean, he's gonna rack up points to me. Ezekiel Elliott and Joe Mixon. In my opinion, 2 top 10 running backs.
Who are they again?
Huh?
Who are they again? Say that again.
Mixon and Elliott.
Oh yeah, that's two top. Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion,
that's good running backs. That's good running backs.
In my opinion, Mixon gets snubbed. I am biased here for sure, but I think that you can almost say this objectively. Mixon gets snubbed almost every year because he wears stripes and plays for the Bengals. I mean, he was top lead, or if not second or first, and I'm pretty sure it was first, but I could be wrong. In rushing yards last year, he didn't even make the Pro Bowl. If he wasn't wearing stripes, he definitely would have made the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. And then at receiver, we got DeAndre Hopkins and Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton might be a little bit of a mistake, but I definitely think D-Hop, obviously. I think him and Kyler Murray are going to be pretty fun to watch this year. I think that they're going to be a team with little defense and a lot of offense, so hoping that helps me out.
Their defense actually got better. They got Isaiah Simmons in the draft, who's
he's good. He's going to be a good linebacker for him, but
he can play anything. He's a versatile beast. He can play any position. He's fast, tall.
I think that they still have holes that they didn't fix, though. I mean, you can only do so much in one offseason, but I think
the secondary is not great, but overall they improved the defense. But
and then my tight end, I got Jared
Cortland Sutton. Another thing. Well, hold on, Cortland Sutton. I don't think he's going to play this week actually, so you might want to have to change that out.
I'll tell you, I'm going to sub. My tight end got Jared Cook. And then in my flex, I got, and I think Jared Cook's good. I think any receiver / tight end / running back that plays with Drew Brees, you're going to get a lot of fantasy points. And that's just kind of how I see it, honestly. But although I will say some weeks you might get completely screwed over because they'll throw to Michael Thomas 4 touchdowns. I mean, that happens a lot. But we'll see. I think Jared Cook's a solid pick. And my flex, I got Raheem Mostert. I probably said his name wrong, but I think.
Got it.
Niners obviously are my top 5 teams. I think he's going to be a good back, obviously, especially for a flex position. They like to switch out their backs a lot. Everybody gets touches.
Back by committee. That's the problem with that.
And then my defense, the Bills, and then I got Robbie Gould as a kicker. Again, like Cole said, it doesn't really matter. I think if I could have a good defense, I think Bills is definitely a good one to have. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. In my bench, I'm actually going to drop Leonard Fournette. I think I'm going to pick up Emmanuel Sanders. We'll see how that goes. Then I got AJ Green. Might start him. That's actually who I'll start over Sutton. Then I got Michael Gallup, Noah Fant, Joe Burrow. I got to represent. Jake Elliott and the Seattle defense. So I kind of played it almost like as much as casual as possible. I mean, obviously, I feel like most casual fantasy football players would pick backups for each position. Is what I did, and I've always been a casual fantasy football player. And I got.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. But those are our teams. I am projected to win this week.
What do you play?
DG.
Oh yeah, that's an easy win. Like I said before, I have a better bench than some people do starting lineups. DG falls into that. So, DG, his team is awful. But I mean, as far as your team, not a horrible team. Not gonna lie.
Thank you.
Just Mostert question mark for me because it's running back by committee for them.
Yeah.
And then your bench, I mean, not a great bench. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think Gallup and Green are solid backups.
Gallup, AJ Green's a question mark for me, but
that depends if he gets injured.
I was surprised when he drafted Leonard Fournette in the 5th round. Was it 5th round?
I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I thought he was gonna be starting running back. You saw how I'm kind of more casual than he is because he knew that he wasn't. So I am a little bit more of a casual, but I honestly think Fournette might get the starting position though. Or they sub him out a lot.
It'll be more running back. I was actually mad when Fournette went to them because I have Ronald Jones in my other league, and
he's definitely gonna take carries away.
Definitely gonna take carries away from Ronald Jones, so that definitely made me mad. But overall, I mean, my team's just too dominant, really. But DG, I mean, let's go. This is the worst team in the league. We'll just lay this out here. This is clearly the worst team in the league. Good quarterback, not gonna lie, Patrick Mahomes. We kind of let him have that just because we felt bad for him. But James Conner, Devin Singletary, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was his first pick, fourth overall. Horrible first pick. Sterling Shepard, Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman, Patriots defense, Justin Tucker. His bench is Kyler Murray.
Rob Gronkowski, 13th overall?
Yeah. Bench, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray, Greg Zuerlein, Kareem Hunt, Devontae Parker, Deebo Samuels, James White. Just an awful team.
He's got a lot of second options on that team, I'll tell you that. Like, people who are...
That team is bad, I'm not going to lie. He didn't draft, though. I think he said... Because obviously, the auto draft would have been better than this, so he must have set his preferences on players.
It makes it almost even sadder that he already knew who...
So he set his preferences to draft Cooper Kupp and all these guys, and should have just went with auto draft EG, not going to lie. Your team would have been a lot better than this junk right here, so... Worst team right there, DG. Yeah, that's it for this week. This week I play Trayton Hatch this week. I'm projected to win by 10. Let's see who he has going.
Well, let's wait to read off the rest of the teams until our moderator can read off his, and we'll kind of make that another segment the next episode next week. But as of right now, I think we've been going for what? 52 minutes? Yeah. And we kind of want to keep it around the hour mark, so we're going to kind of start wrapping things up a bit. If anybody in the audience, I actually don't have the viewer count in front of me, probably just too late. All right, allow. If anybody in the audience has any questions, you can go ahead and write that down below, and our moderator will let us know what they are. We'll try to reply to them right now. So if you have any questions, please put them down. I'd just like to say, sorry for all the... We are still improving. I mean, again, this is our 7th episode. We've never done anything like this. So the reason why we're switching out mics is just because I started hearing something, and it honestly could just be apparent. I don't know. But
definitely weird that I was echoing. Not sure why it's doing that. Like I used the same headphones last episode, and I didn't really see a problem. So I don't know. Could be maybe we're too close. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, we'll get everything straightened out. It's just 2nd episode, so
yeah, it will be straightened out.
It's all a work in progress, but hopefully we're at least improving. So hopefully you guys like the new the cameras and everything. So
yeah, we actually got a camera. You can see us. You can see our reactions to actual things. And I kind of want to start doing some type of reaction-like videos, not like on their own separate, but like during the podcast. I want to try and figure out a way where we can react to stuff and you guys see it as well. And
definitely cool.
At that point, we'll have our own individual cameras, and we'll react to like just stupid videos or funny videos, scary videos, whatever. And that'll all come. If you have any suggestions for videos that we can do, we're gonna put our socials down in the comments. You can DM the Twitter, the Instagram. You can just leave it in the comments on our YouTube what you think we should post. You can even email it. But we're very open to suggestions. We're gonna get 2 individual cameras that are both looking at us when we want to talk. Everything will be smooth out. That's basically it. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say. We are dedicated to this content. I mean, our goal last time was 50 views, and we got flashlight tech did that. I mean, that blew it out of the water. We're super happy. Yeah. Thing is, we're really good for like a big. We don't need the 3 million views in an episode or whatever. We're honestly just having fun. So
just for fun. So I mean, like we said last episode, our 2nd episode was going to improve massively. Hopefully we did that. I mean, obviously it's a work in progress. Not going to be perfect yet. 3rd episode's going to be a lot better, I will say. We're going to have a moderator on. Are we going to have a camera for our moderator or no?
Oh, we'll have a camera. Excuse me. Camera for our moderator. Everything.
All right, so next episode we'll have a camera for our moderator. We'll have him on talking.
We'll be able to switch to screens. We might have another guest next week. Stay tuned. Find out who it is. But we definitely think that that we want to improve for you guys. And like I said, we're not doing this for 3 million. We just want to have fun. And I just want to say I got so many nice comments from the last podcast. I just thank you guys so much. Seriously.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
It does mean a lot. Even I heard it from a few people, and just if I heard it from one person, it just makes my day. So I do appreciate it.
It may not seem like a lot, but it really does.
It does.
It is helpful because it makes us want to keep doing it, and we do appreciate everyone that's reaching out to us. So just stay tuned.
Let me ask, moderator, did we have any questions come through? No questions? Okay. I don't think we have that much live audience right now, but we're going to post this and shout it out and hopefully get. We're shooting for 100 views this time. Why not? We got 89. Maybe we can hit 100 this time. We're gonna have a little bit more promotion, and hopefully we can reach you guys. And we're interested about hearing whatever, not just the videos you guys want to submit for us to review and watch, but we want to hear topics you guys want about. Because at the end of the day, we're doing this because we want to. It's a conversation with us to you, basically. So anything you'd like to hear our opinion on, or our take, or even us for a topic for us to debate. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we can debate about. And we actually might be trying to set up a debate in the next few weeks. We'll see how that goes. But we just want to put out stuff that's fun for us and for you. So hopefully you guys can put down some suggestions. Other than that, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that about wraps it up. Appreciate everyone that watched.
Okay, wait. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I want to say everybody that everything that's happening in California, obviously with fires. I mean, we're feeling effects here in Utah, and I'm not meaning near as bad as California, obviously. But we've had a complete smoke cloud over our city past week. So I can only imagine how bad it is in California. Seeing the pictures. Hopefully, any of our viewers are out there are doing okay. Obviously, that's horrible what's going on. Got to figure that out for sure, but I seriously hope everything's going good there. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, good. That's good. We like that. So, yeah, but overall, I mean, appreciate everyone that watched. Like he said multiple times, if you guys want to get in contact with us, tell us anything you want, topics, how you're feeling about the podcast, what you would like us to do, what you don't want us to do, just whatever. So, appreciate everyone that watched. I think that about wraps it up for everything.
Yep, I'm just going to give a quick shout out for all of our socials, which will also be linked down in the description, but just in case. So our Instagram's going to be ThePro&AmateurPodcast, at ThePro&AmateurPodcast. It's going to be. We only have 2 followers right now. We're going to try to get that up. Our Twitter is not the same at, actually. It is. Oh, give me 2 seconds. Sorry. So this one is at Pro&AmateurPodcast. And you should be able to see us when we pop up. But that's our Twitter. Like I said, I'm Jackson Edwards. I'm the amateur.
Cole Higgs, the pro.